Now this here is our Morso F Deluxe Guillotine. Pretty much a basic setup for those who are looking maybe at an entry-level setup where just a basic guillotine, basic underpinner, you know, a tabletop mat cutter. This is ideal in that situation. And we also see a lot of established framers around the country, you know, been in the industry for 30, 40 years. They can't let go of their guillotines, you know, it's their staple in their machinery. So do you want to give a quick overview, Alan, on something to look out for in terms of some of the critical issues on the guillotine?
Yeah, no problems. Guillotine, it's pretty robust, pretty bulletproof, but they do need to be lubricated. A lot of people don't lubricate the machine. The main knife block and guides are running on a metal-to-metal surface, so they do need to be lubricated. And when they're not lubricated, you do get some wear. Where to look for is where the knife block lifts up and down. By grabbing the knife block and moving side to side, if you've got movement, you've got issues in the guides that need to be rectified. Also, once your head's locked in place, you shouldn't be able to move backwards and forwards. If you can move backwards and forwards, it might be that your tooth arc is worn, or there is a location pin underneath two guide blocks. They might also be there. To lubricate the slides, just use you can either use a motorcycle chain lube or a product called Tack 2. Something that's nice and tacky and will stay on there. If you use something like CRC or WD-40 or just a normal machine oil, it will run off and it won't stay there long. You want something to stick on there and stay. So it's just a matter of putting the knife there and spraying in the surfaces where they move, and just operate the machine a few times, and it will lubricate itself.
In terms of the blades, Alan, I mean, how regular should be sharpening your blades, and also how critical is it for your bottom blades perhaps to be sharpened as well?
Yep. As far as how often to sharpen them, it's something you'll gauge on the cut quality. So looking at when it's been cut, it should be nice and smooth, no gouges in it or anything like that. If there are gouges, I'd say you might have a nick in the top blade, or you might have a damaged bottom blade as well. Telltale signs of your bottom blade's being damaged. When you cut and you go to lift the top blades up, it might catch the wood, or might be really aggressive to try and to cut. It should be nice and smooth. You can also just put a piece of paper in there and just try and cut it. This paper's nice and thin, it won't fall in between the two, because there's a very fine gap between the top blade and the bottom blade. A lot of people don't know that there is bottom blades, but yeah, they're not meant to be sharpened. You can just put them on a slipstone and just clean up any nicks on them, but if they are damaged, you need to replace them.
So any custom framer can actually get in there and take the bottom blades off themselves?
Yeah.
Is it an easy process, or?
It's easy to take them off and have a look. Resetting them may be an issue. If you put them on incorrectly, you might actually break your top blades. So it's something to be mindful of. The easiest way to check your blades if they are damaged is when you take the top blades off. And I suggest take the top blades off before you hit the bottom ones, because as you know they're quite sharp. You can get a torch in behind and have a look, and just run your finger across the bottom edge of the blade. Because the bottom blade isn't sharp, but it's almost a 90-degree angle. There's a tungsten steel, so that's why it's so strong, but it's not sharp as far as the top blades are.
We also have an in-house blade sharpening service. Did you want to quickly touch on that?
Yeah, we have a blade sharpener that's actually made by Morso. So both left and right blades are match ground, so they're put in the machine together and they're both machined perfectly together. They're hollow ground as per Morso specification.
Right. Just one final question on the Morso. I mean, we've got different types of timbers out there, soft timbers, your hardwoods and so forth. Does your technique need to alter in accordance to the different types of timbers that you cut?
Yeah, for sure. Harder timbers, you probably wouldn't go to 2 or 3 notches, only one at a time. And the last cut is always the most important one. You'll notice on your tooth arc that all of these ones are all the same width. Your very last one is a half a cut. So the last cut is the most important out of all of them, especially on hard timbers. Because what can happen is as you're cutting, it can separate the wood just a tiny bit. So when you go to join it, you'll see that the top edge looks terrible. And that's only because when it cuts, it pushes the molding away. So last trimming cut is very important, and sharp blades.
Yeah.
If it's a soft timber, you can probably get away with it, but harder, definitely not.
Before we head into some questions and head over to the Valiani computerized mat cutter, one of the common questions I get from a lot of framers out there is they have one of these setups, a basic setup, and they're looking to step up, whether it's production or the efficiency in their cutting, and they're looking at a double miter saw. Can you give us perhaps an advantage of a double miter saw in terms of its cutting ability in comparison to a Morso Guillotine?
Yeah, they both have their place. You know, guillotines are a small footprint, no dust, no noise, but they can't cut a gesso or a high compo molding as nice as what a saw can cut one better than a guillotine. Plus also the width as well. And there's a longer time between sharpening blades. So, you know, if you're sharpening your blades every month or so, you know, you might get 3 to 4 months out of a saw. So.
Yeah. And depending on the type of action too, with that downward action on the Morso in comparison to the cross action of a Rivetti, does that give you a bit of a cleaner cut?
No, it's probably about the same, I think.
Okay. Yeah. Fantastic. Any questions out there, everyone?
So we've got a couple of questions here, Alan.
Yep.
When I use my Prism C miter saw, I find a lot of moldings have a tendency to chip, even with the new blades. Do you have any tips to reduce this from happening?
Belts, maybe vibration.
Yeah, there could be vibration in the machine. Just put your hand on the machine while it's running and just see if there's any vibration. Depending on where the chipping is, the Rivetti can chip a little bit up towards the top edge of the machine. There is an adjustment on the fence that we can minimise that. It's just basically because the timber's sitting in no man's land and it can chip. Also, if you just come really, really slowly back, rather than being fast on it, that can stop the blowout as well.
I think on the Rivetti as well, one of the quick maintenance tips is you can actually take off that top plate, that top layer. I think there's 4 little Allen keys up the top. Take that lid off, have a look inside, then you actually feel the tension of your belt itself. So you might be able to see a bit of a
there might be a belt
there.
That could even have a nick out of it, and that could cause a vibration, and that vibration will definitely blow out the back and mold.
Can you tell us the importance of level guides? Just touch on that for us.
Level guides.
Guides.
Level guides.
Level side extensions on Morso or Valiani.
Extension.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah. If it's extension arms, maybe for support.
Also, could you mention any brand of lubricant you use?
I usually use a motorcycle chain lube. You know, I use a Bellray, but you can use, there's a CRC product called TAC2, which you can get at Bunnings. It's quite good. So anything that if you spray it on your finger and you pull, when it starts to dry, it's tacky, that's what you need.
Final question, guys? No?
All good?
All right. I think we're going to head over to the Valiani CMC now.